It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Oh, let's review.
We'll analyze the scene.
Sounds holly jolly to me.
Before it's over, let's begin.
Bum.
Bum.
That's right, folks. Since the Christmas season is upon us, we thought the way to celebrate and get into the holiday spirit would be with some holiday reviews.
6 to be exact. Selected and arranged for your Yuletide pleasure.
So silver up those bells, light the multicolored lights, and go out and build a snowman as we engage in some
Seasonal
seasonal
Shenanigans!
shenanigans. And coming up in the penultimate stretch this year, we're talking a very merry Pooh year. This originally came out in 2002, and Dragon, I'm gonna try and make this quick. I've got a lot of nostalgia with this thing. I put in the video description that this is one of the final pieces of nostalgia from my childhood, which is because this literally came out when I was 12 years old, and so it was very much in that transitional space of I'm still engaged with and enjoying Disney and cartoons and stuff like that. But, once you hit 13 and onwards, and especially with stuff that was going on in my personal life, well, let's just say, the transitional ages of 11 and 12 very much were kind of like the whole. I believe I talked about in when we were talking about the first SpongeBob Christmas special, which I believe came out in '99, where that special holds a very significant place in my head of like, it was the special that kind of like benchmarked the first year that I kind of realized that Santa wasn't real. But it was kind of also like a warm, like, well, you know what? If SpongeBob and his friends can have a Merry Christmas, even though Santa might not be real, then so can I, kind of thing. And Dragon, honestly, this was very much the same. I have a lot of nostalgia for this thing as far as just, it was very much kind of like a thing to sit down and watch with the grandparents and the cousins and the little sibling and whatnot. And it's very much just a very wholesome little family picture, if you will. And I just have there's just so many moments in this thing that just really resonate with me on an emotional level. Like, oh my god, it's like a warm hug of a movie, essentially. And it's not even much of a movie. Well, I'm sure we'll get into the Disney Toon side of thing. It is like a kind of a compilation, a little bit. We'll get into that. But for me personally, again, it's kind of like that transitional where if this would have come out in 2004 instead of 2002, I don't think I would have nearly as strong of memories by that point, because by that point I was more into like discovering music and stuff like that, and into my theme park days. But 2002 was still very much Disney, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, but it was almost kind of like the last hurrah for that kind of gasp of my childhood, as you know, because stuff like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends and even stuff like Avatar, the Last Airbender, are all kind of things that kind of exist on this weird transitional point in my childhood where I was kind of drifting away from animation for a while. And obviously I'm back into animation. Like, we've been over this a lot. Like, obviously now I don't really, if anything, I'm too into these things. But yeah, for a while there, this was kind of like the last hurrah for me for nostalgic Christmas content. And after this, my Christmases, I don't want to say they got cynical, but they got less focused on, being together as a family and watching the specials and everything. And it was kind of like, well, we'll watch the Grinch once a year, and that's about it as far as traditions go after this. But yeah, this was really one of the last new ones that came out that really captivated me as a child going into my teenage years. All right, Dragon. I said I'd keep that short, and technically we're at the 5-minute point. What's your thoughts on A Very Merry Pooh Year?
Yeah, so this is the first time I've seen this one. I wasn't wowed by it.
I'm not surprised,
It,
honestly.
I mean, look, I think this ultimately goes to show that Winnie the Pooh seems like at its most effective, it only can really exist at its fullest in kind of the short story vignetted kind of approach. And I know technically that's kind of what we get here, but it doesn't feel like we're getting like a lot of variety with kind of the vignettes here. Because we're going for kind of an overarching narrative and connective tissue, and very much as kind of being pointed out in the comments here, kind of the whole compilation kind of vibe there, versus like, okay, here's just like chapters of a book, which is traditionally what we like to do with Winnie the Pooh. I mean, overall, look, I enjoy Winnie the Pooh. I do. I think this is cutesy, but it didn't quite hit me in the holiday feels throughout the way I was kind of expecting it to. I mean, there's like a moment where it kind of does, but it doesn't. Like the dial moves, but it just doesn't quite. I'm not quite feeling all warm and toasty inside. This doesn't give me those Christopher Robin vibes that I was feeling when that movie came out. In terms of like the nostalgia and the warm blanket that is Winnie the Pooh. I didn't quite get that feeling here. Like the charm wasn't. It was more like, okay, that's quaint, that's nice. There's it's Christmassy and it's Winnie the Pooh, and I mean, as we'll get into, when we do literally the package component of the film, when we do like the episode of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, it's like, okay, this is better. This is an improvement. At least we got there. But it's like, well, I mean, is that really earned though? It's literally recycling like the other special. So this one didn't quite do it for me. But it was, I mean, I didn't hate it or anything. It just didn't, it felt more like, okay, that's nice. Little kind of
No,
dust
for
off.
sure. And I think another big component with Winnie the Pooh is I feel like it hits the hardest when you're young, and I feel like this is a good example of it, where like this did come around in a kind of like pivotal transitional time in my life. So obviously you don't have that same kind of personal connection to it. So I'm not surprised that you're underwhelmed by it, honestly. And I'm glad that we didn't make this the finale. But okay, but no, here's the thing about it though, is that I feel like all the criticism is absolutely warranted as far as the Pooh Year side of things, the New Year stuff. It's fun. There's certainly one element to it that we'll get to that is like unhinged in a really fun way.
Yeah, there's one really trippy bit in this
Yeah, you know what
special.
I'm talking about.
I'm pretty sure we're on the same wavelength there. I'm pretty sure that's like, yeah, that's one you don't really forget. That's like it's the car accident you drive by, like, what the heck?
That being said, the Christmas stuff, the first half, I don't know, maybe we should have just like, because is that literally just an episode of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Okay, then honestly, Dragon, we should have just covered it for Christmas.
Yeah, that's the
July.
thing. That is the
That's kind of my bad. That's kind of my bad.
There is one,
but to be fair, I think as a standalone like 20-minute Christmas special, I think it's damn good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's weird because it was like the way I found it is it was technically it's from that show. It's from that animation, the animation of that show and everything, and from that series. But technically, that like they did segment that out and put on like a standalone VHS tape, where it's just that 26-minute special. So it's kind of a special, kind of an episode of the show. So it's kind of like between two worlds, and then it gets repackaged in this. So it's kind of like in three worlds. It's an oddball.
Well, regardless, I do think that that's where this thing really shines, is all the Christmas stuff, not so much the Pooh Year stuff.
Well, yeah. Okay, that's what it says. Z&K says it was a standalone special, but I mean, still, it does seem to be kind of like marketed to be around that show. So I think he's right that it is, it is kind of like a standalone special, but still, like same animation company, same banner of the show title. So I mean, it's a negligible difference.
All right.
Anyway,
so speaking of the comments, let's get into it. We got a lot of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Z&K says it's funny how there's two other Pooh movies that all have similar structure, but don't work as well. And Z&K, I gotta give you credit, man. You this is like more in depth than I've ever seen anyone go on these Pooh movies, which are literally a roadblock to getting like a great ranking podcast built on the Disney Toon movies, because there's just so many Pooh ones.
I mean, Tiki, we're in the honeypot now.
Okay, so Z&K says Heffalump Halloween movie doesn't flow as organically as this one in terms of including the TV special. It is overall the weakest Pooh movie, and Season of Giving, that's not even a movie. It's a glorified compilation VHS in denial of what it really is. Okay, let's see. Kogia says this movie is surely better than Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Dragon, you got to give it that, right? I know you haven't seen Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but
I heard one thing about that movie that just kind of makes me raise an eyebrow. Apparently, the plot of that movie, from what I've heard secondhand, is that it's the residents of the 100-acre woods trying to kill Christopher Robin because they're mad he abandoned them.
That is literally the plot of the movie.
Yeah. So that's what were they thinking writing that? But yeah.
So you can confirm that Winnie the Pooh, A Very Merry Pooh Year, is a better Winnie the Pooh product than Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I will go as far as to say that, yes.
All right. Yeah, okay. Okay, Little Blue says, I thought you guys would do a retrospective of Prince of Egypt because today's the 25th anniversary. There's so many anniversaries, Little Blue, and it's the holidays, and we're very busy. I'm very sorry.
The main reason we didn't do that is we already covered Prince of Egypt.
This is also true, Little Blue. Yes,
we covered it for Passover like a few years ago.
So if you want our thoughts on Prince of Egypt, just search our channel. You'll probably find it. Hopefully, if the search function is working.
I mean, it should.
I guarantee 100%, but it should pop up. All right. Z&K says, I feel the special within the movie on its own works better on its own. And I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree, which we'll get into. Mm-hmm. Oh God, it sounds like this could be another old dad situation. This time Tiki liked the film and Dragon didn't.
I didn't like the film.
I don't think it's going to be that contentious, because I totally understand where Dragon's coming from, and I totally understand my nostalgia bias on this. Okay, let's see. Disney did have a habit back then of having packaging episodes together as a movie. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, even weirder, they had a habit of packaging episodes of movies of shows that were not even shows. So, like, stuff like the Atlantis movie, for example, where it's like, hey, we might make a movie out of this someday, maybe.
Well, no, we might make a show out of this someday.
I don't know why I'm getting that mixed up. I'm terribly sorry.
Yeah, because they're making a movie that's essentially a 3-episode pilot.
Okay, the only differences are Christopher's Robin.
Okay, let me just I got this. All right, so in the background, I was about to get to.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So they did the only difference is that when we get to that segment, which is from the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, but essentially Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2, I think, is what the full title of that special is. The only difference is they retouched it so, like, they as he goes into Rabbit was digitally colored yellow to look like he consistently looks, where in that show he's kind of like the greenish color, and Christopher Robin was redubbed to basically sound like this Christopher Robin. That is all. Not all the background is all for that little factoid, but the background's really minimal on this. Essentially, this is a Christmas cash-in basically during the big Disney home video boom. Essentially what this is. Essentially is a repackaging of the episode of the New Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Like kind of when they padded it out with like the whole New Year's with the Pooh year component. In 2002, a few years later, from '91 when they put out the original.
The writers literally just watched Squidsville.
Sure.
And we're like, hey guys, we can do that with Rabbit.
Yeah.
Except we're tight on money, and we're not actually going to show the community that Rabbit moves to.
I wonder if the years actually line up on that, because around SpongeBob it might actually have been around 2000.
Well, like I said, I think SpongeBob, like season 1 was 99. So
yeah, that's the thing. So based on that logic, I mean, I think we should, because the SpongeBob movie was like what, 03?
I think so, yeah.
Is it the SpongeBob? 04, that's the thing. If SpongeBob, I think it was 04. SpongeBob movie's 04, then that definitely came before, this is '02, so I mean, I think we're definitely covered there. It's like SpongeBob has 3 seasons and then the movie.
Mhm.
Okay, anyway, so there are 2 animation studios that worked on this, and these are 2 animation studios that essentially worked a lot on the Disney Saturday morning stuff, including a lot of my favorites like Buzz Lightyear Star Command. And I have to wonder, honestly, if it was both eras of the studio, because you look at Buzz Lightyear, there's kind of like an upgrade when they started doing things digitally. You can kind of tell it in the designs, kind of what we've talked about on Batcave Beyond with Batman Beyond, where they did the digital cleanup. Where this is an era in animation where we're in the early 2000s and they're drawing directly on the computer, still in still hand drawn, but just directly on the computer. And because of that, that's why the animation looks a lot cleaned up, and it's not on cells anymore.
Mhm.
So based on that, I forget what the division of work is here, but essentially you had Wang Film Productions, and they specifically, from my understanding, they're the ones who did the original Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2 special. I believe that was them. And they had Sunwoo Animation. I could be getting that mixed up because again, they both worked on these at different points. They also worked on Aladdin and Pepper Ann and stuff like that. So Sunwoo, I believe, did like the padding, and Wang Film Productions did the segment, did the episode segment. Peter Cullen doing Eeyore this time around.
Yeah, and doing a very
Optimus Prime.
unconventional take
Yep,
that we will get into.
Optimus Prime with range, kids. And apparently, I think I read this factoid somewhere. This is, I think, the first time they did not use Al.
Oh yeah, now that you mention it, yeah.
First time it didn't appear at all.
Also, can we talk about like Michael Go? Is that like as in Alfred? From
No, it's not Alfred. The other different Michael Go.
Okay,
Well,
have we gone over this before?
Well, no. I'm just saying. Like I had the same thought initially when I saw
I was
the
like,
name.
holy shit, that guy's got range.
Well, first off, that's Michael Goff. Michael Goff is Alfred.
Okay.
Not Go. That's the other. That's what I'm saying. That's the main. Initially, the brain thinks it's Goff, but in reality, it's like Go or something.
And then it's double confusing because Pat Hingle was the other actor who was in all 4 movies, and he was a voice actor in Land Before Time. So, like, I associate him with voice acting.
Yeah, as a whole, yeah. Also, was in a Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Not a great Muppet movie. He was in a Muppet movie, though. All right. So, yeah, that's all I really got for the background.
All right. Little Blue says, can we acknowledge that Paul Winchell, this is the last time he voiced Tigger in an animated movie?
Yeah. Well, again, it's kind of archivally, but yes.
Mm-hmm. But technically, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul Winchell also invented the artificial heart, which I did not know, but that's a cool factoid.
Way to go, Paul. Yeah. I believe Paul Winchell. I think he's. I forget. I think he's related to April Winchell. I believe he is.
I think you're right about that.
It would stand to reason because April Winchell is giving her Disney credits. It would make sense.
So yeah, Z&K, the reason Gopher wasn't in the 2011 Winnie the Pooh was because that was all characters from the books. They wanted to stick as close to the books as they could. So hence Gopher was invented. I believe Gopher was the one element of the Disney Winnie the Pooh that was not in the books. Yeah, Little Blue confirms April Winchell is Paul's daughter. There you go.
Nice. No, that's what I thought. Okay, that's great.
All right, so let's dive into it.
Let's do it.
Okay, so Dragon, for seemingly lazy as this framing device is, and I will admit it is kind of lazy. It's literally just like, hey, friends, remember all the Christmas memories we had? Isn't it cozy, though? Isn't it cozy, Dragon?
Well, let me tell you what I really respect the heck out of with this thing, all right?
Okay.
I love the nod to the classic Winnie the Pooh opening with like we're in the live action setting and we go to the book and it opens. So it's a good atmosphere we're building. We have the narrator kind of breaking the fourth wall with Pooh. All that's doing it for me. Music, not so much, but all that's doing it for me.
Aw.
Because it's no Sherman Brothers music, and I think it shows.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I mean, I don't think the music is actively bad, honestly, but like I'm
just saying when you think of it in comparison, it's like, yeah, Yeah, it's not. I
I mean,
see.
honestly, Winnie the Pooh 2011, I think those songs come close to Sherman Brothers, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what your mind's going to, where it's like, you know what? I respect what they're trying to do here. They're going for the original vibe, and I like that. But it's like, the music is kind of a big component. We're a little off, and like it feels like the lyrics aren't coming out well.
All right. Well, I've got to admit, I did not have any sort of nitpicky notes about the
Well,
music, but
I'm only nitpicking because again, I was initially given major kudos, and like, wait a minute, something's a little off here.
all
What
right,
is that?
fair enough, fair enough. I mean, like I said, it's not like the music was like a particular highlight for me or anything, but
All right. I kind of wish we kept the narrator thread a little bit more because I really like that touch.
I do like the touch of the narrator. I think it's one of the things that makes the original like the one Winnie the Pooh movie that counts for the Walt Disney Animation Studios rankings.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one element that makes that movie really good, I think, is the use of the narrator throughout that movie.
Yep.
Okay, so but I don't know, man. I really like just the vibes of all these friends coming together
Yeah.
just to hang out. It's very much a hangout scenario, which I appreciate. And Winnie the Pooh, I think, is just a hangout franchise. It's very much, as the kids would say, a vibe.
Yeah, but speaking of vibe, you get the vibe that we padded we padded this out a lot for Disney money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Making the Eisner bucks.
Keeping Eisner fat.
Oh God.
All right. So again, roughly we got three plots. You have the Christmas setup, we have the episode from the show, and we have the New Year, the Pooh year of it all.
Uh-huh.
That's essentially what our three-act structure is here. So when initially Winnie the Pooh, he's frantically trying to hide Piglet's gift because seriously, it's nice everyone coming together, but guys, like give Pooh a moment here. I mean, I know they probably realize, oh, that Winnie the Pooh actually is very forgetful, so we should actually knock on the door, do a wellness check on this bear. But still, just for a moment, it's like, guys, just he's in the. You're all coming to his house. He'll get the door. He doesn't go anywhere else in the 100-acre woods. He'll enter the door. Yes, he's probably sleeping or eating honey, but he will eventually get the door.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so the decorate Winnie the Pooh's house. I gotta wonder though what Rue's mother's name's Kanga, right?
Yes.
Literally just Kanga. I just want to make sure.
Yes, literally just Kanga. Yes.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure I wasn't crazy. Because yeah, so what was Kanga thinking? Just like I'm gonna hang these honey cookies on the tree with the expectation
Okay,
that
don't the honey cookies sound delicious though?
right? I never thought of honey cookies. That does sound amazing.
Yeah, but
doesn't
it sounds straight up really good though.
It does. I mean, what was she thinking? Like, okay, he's not going to eat these cookies.
No, you're right. That's definitely a logic flaw. But the concept of the honey cookies, I give an A plus.
I just don't understand why she didn't make him honey cookies. Like, why? Are we going that far?
Right.
We're going to introduce this awesomely delicious animated food concept, but we're not just going to give it to him. We're going to taunt him by hanging on the tree.
Oh my God!
Really?
You know what's funny is that it's almost kind of like a foreshadow of what's to come.
Yeah.
Here you go, Pooh. Here's this delicious honey-based item, but you can't have it.
No. It's for the donkey.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, we are teetering on the edge of disaster with that Eeyore bit, but we will get there. We will get there.
Okay, let's see. So, they're caroling jingle bells. Yep. As they do everything, as they're decorating the whole place and everything. So then we get into the whole repackaging of the Winnie the Pooh and Christmas 2 segment.
Mm-hmm.
So the animation throwback, again, in the shift of things here, it was like I kind of perked up, like, hey, a little animation throwback here. We're going old school with Pooh. Nice.
It does look really good. I think it still does hold up for sure.
It doesn't. I'm going to go on a random, like, slightly removed tangent. Here's the little threading of the fraying of the twain. But how nice is it the 90s animation does this stand? I think stands kind of in a class above than kind of our padding animation, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like I don't want to get into a whole rant about like the quote unquote cow art style, but like it's a legitimate thing, man. It's like I feel like back in the '90s and the early 2000s, like all these different animated shows and concepts, like they all took on a different visual identity, and that's what made early Cartoon Network and early Nickelodeon and even early Disney Channel and Disney Afternoon so engrossing. I think were all those different animation styles and tones coming together.
Yeah.
They don't make them like they used to, Dragon, back in my day.
Attaboy, Clarence.
All right.
Make it like the old days.
All right,
Let's go back to
have to
91.
watch 10 minutes of commercials every time I watch the Rugrats. All right.
Yeah, do 15 minutes of commercials between the one cartoon and the next cartoon and all the ads in between.
Okay. Oh God. I mean, it's true though. It's true. We're getting to that point. We're going to be those.
I can't watch a 10-minute YouTube video with like 3 ads.
All
like
right.
in the middle of it. All right,
Woo!
so anyway.
All right, getting away from our never-ending existential dread about getting older. Yeah.
Well, now you made it about getting old. I was just thinking about looking back to the old days.
No, I'm thinking getting old.
Well, thanks for bringing the room down. Anyway, so Christopher Robin, he's visiting his pals, and they're making a list and making a list with all the stuff everyone wants, so he can send it to old Santy.
Okay, you can't deny that Christopher Robin wanting a sled for Christmas is like the most quaint thing you have ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the thing about this this whole animated special. Allow me to just go off on a little bit of kind of like why I'm going to defend it. Is that I think everything about it is so genuine, and there's so many moments and lines that just really stick with me and warm my heart. Like, for example, when Piglet's trying to come up with what he wants for Christmas, and Pooh is like, "Whatever your wish is, Piglet, I'm sure it will be wonderful." I'm like, oh my God, it just right in the heart, man. I mean, you could just like that's another thing about 90s animation and early 2000s is that everything is so cynical now. Everything is so like, oh, we're gonna be meta and we're gonna have all the jokes and all the reference humor all the time. And it's like, no, this special is all about just characters that we like, having a nice time and being nice to each other. And you know what, Dragon? It works. It's all we need. All right, I'm getting myself worked up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, again, Tika, that's all fine and dandy, but it does yet again go to show, hey, that's Winnie the Pooh and Christmas too, doing all the heavy lifting there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Like,
you're not
we're
wrong.
We're going to recolor the rabbit. That's all it did. We're going to recolor the rabbit and revoice the boy. So I can't really give him points for that, but I can say, yes, it is. This is the section of the whole thing I am the highest on. I am in complete unison with you on that salient point, my friend. I am enjoying it. I like this. I like the delightfulness of like Christopher Robin is like, I want a sled so I can wheel around all my stuffed pals. Isn't that going to be nice? And everyone having these really attainable goals of like, he wants a fly swatter for all those bugs, and Eeyore wants a house, and all this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All very utilitarian gifts. Let's see. So Pooh forgot to ask for a gift, so they amend the list. But in mailing it, he essentially mails it incorrectly, and it mails it in quotes because really, what was the hope was that it was going to blow away to find Santa. But again, it's 100-acre woods.
I love Rabbit's rant about the. As for Santa, he lives at the North Pole.
Yeah. So Pooh he tries to be Santa. The sad fact of the matter is he sucks at it. He just sucks so bad at being Santa. It just
Okay,
doesn't.
but isn't that just super
It
charming
is.
though?
It is. That's what I'm saying. I love that. I love that he tries it though. Like it's like Winnie the Pooh's inner Charlie. Basically, Winnie the Pooh is like the lazy man's Charlie Brown to a degree. You know, where it's like
God.
he tries, but he tries, but he gets really, really sidetracked. You know, it just feels
He
like
puts in a good 30% worth of effort.
it's like I appreciate the fact I think it's insanely charming that Pooh he did try and give them exactly what they wanted, but it failed miserably. So in that respect, there's an element of Charlie Brown there, but it's like at the same token, at the same time though, it's like it's very obviously Pooh and not Santa Claus.
You know what though? I hear you. I just obviously with Winnie the Pooh, there's the whole element of that they're basically supposed to be like embodiments of childhood whimsy and innocence, like the characters.
Sure, sure. So that's the thing. So he gives gifts that were close to the mark, but just very ill designed, like the teapot and the bug spray. Like initially, that's a good idea, but Winnie the Pooh unfortunately is no craftsman, so it falls to pieces. Let's see. So Eeyore has essentially has like a stick house, which doesn't protect him at all.
No, isn't he literally just shoved in a suitcase?
I thought it was like he had like the little sticks on his. Is that what he had before Pooh gave him the gift, or is that?
Yeah, yeah, because the stick house is kind of like his default.
You're right. You're right. I think you're right. Okay, now here's the thing. Tigger had like the bouncing barrel thing, which okay, snowshoe, but again, just shattered on unpacked because there was no actual snowshoe. There was the boot and a barrel. It looked cool, not functional at all though.
Right,
See,
right.
Pooh's a body guy, if anything. Pooh's all about like I'm gonna make something that looks really cool. Functionality, none whatsoever. He's all honeypot, no honey.
But then the episode does kind of like take a serious turn, and there is some genuine peril when he literally goes out in the middle of a snowstorm by himself to look for Santa.
So that's the thing. So Pooh, he's walking to the North Pole to atone for his Christmas sins here. Just to save.
That's basically what he's doing.
So
Right.
Winnie the Pooh, like he's going on this odyssey. He's going
It's
to
a very
freeze to death.
self-sacrificial like position that he puts himself in. It really is.
He's going to freeze himself to death with no way to save Christmas in a very fruitless endeavor. But it is. You're right, though. It's insanely sweet and on brand for that character to do that. And then the moral is really well exposited here that they all care about Winnie the Pooh and they feel terrible for this. And it's like, oh, all we really want is for Pooh to come back. He does. He got lost. He's terrible at direction.
And we're totally not going to reuse that exact same moral with a different character in another 20 minutes.
Get out of town. How dare you undervalue the crack story team we have working on this repackaged animated special? How dare you, sir? You know what? I'm turning my nose up at you, sir. You're devaluing of this fine animation staff. Anyway. So but the moral's nice. Next day, Christopher Robin shows up and he brings presents. He brings presents from Santa that they all want. Now, here's my question for you, Tiki. Okay. Did Santa actually come through for him, or is Christopher Robin just very, very perceptive?
Christopher Robin is very, very perceptive.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to check with you.
I mean, you got to like with the Christopher Robin stuff. I always kind of like have it in my head canon that, like I said, like the characters are essentially like extensions of Christopher Robin's personality, right? Because he is just playing with them. So like he literally knows what they want for Christmas because by and large, he is the one coming up with all the stories. Yeah. Christopher Robin is the ultimate dungeon master dragon, in other words.
It's a colorful way of putting it, but yes. Just imagine, like, here's some fan art for you. Just imagine Christopher Robin just sitting at a table, like a little folding map thing, and have like all the plushies just like wearing like little hats and stuff.
Right.
He's rolling the dice, and you hear him like whispering, like, "Oh bother." I got eaten by the goblin. Oh bother!
Oh bother! I rolled a d20.
Or was it a d23?
Oh god, no. Oh god, okay.
Okay, anyway. So, so now we shift to New Year's, which the gift is kind of the transition point here, in which Pooh forgot Piglet's gift. The theme of the New Year's segment is resolutions, New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, before we do that, I just want to shout out some comments here really quick. Let's see. Z and K says he loves the overhead shot of Pooh's honey drawer, very atmospheric. Yeah, the whole animation style and the whole thing is very atmospheric. And I don't know, man. I miss 2D animation. Bring back 2D animation. I just saw The Boy in the Heron on a giant screen today, and so I am very much in a 2D animation kick, if you will.
Did you see the English dub?
Yes, I did.
Good man, good man. All right.
Robert Pattinson is just, what the hell? How did he even do that, Dragon?
Wait,
I'm telling you, if you're not a fan of Robert Pattinson after the English dub of Boy and the Heron, I don't even know what to tell you.
Did he play the boy?
No, he played the Heron.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyways, Z and K channel says Jeff Bennett singing voice is Piglet. Sorry, Jeff, not your best sound like. Same thing happened with Book of Pooh. And then also, Dragon, I mostly want to shout out. I love everyone's winter gear in the special, like Rabbit's fur trim coat and Tigger's varsity jacket. Yeah. Dragon, I want a Christmas ornament of Tigger wearing that varsity jacket, my friend.
Do you really want that?
Well, yes, specifically because my mother has like a tree full of Disney Christmas ornaments, and that would be a good one to add to that tree.
Okay.
That's why I would want that, yes. Anyways, we kind of skimmed over this, but any thoughts on Piglet swelling up like a balloon?
Well, I don't think we've got. Don't we get to that when he's impersonating? Wait, don't we get to that when he's impersonating Tigger later? Or is that?
No, we get to that when they're trying to retrieve the letter to add Pooh's wish to it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah,
that's I think is both very unhinged and very rushed way of retrieving the letter. Honestly,
yeah.
All right.
Christopher Robin's never explained how the mail works.
I want Tigger to wear that jacket in the park. Like, I'm pretty sure he does. Or at least the green. I've definitely seen him in the green. I'm not sure if it has the varsity T on it, though.
I had an interesting headcanon thing just came to me right now.
Okay.
What if Christopher Robin, in this whole, him explaining how the letters to Santa works, 100 Acre Woods, the way we depict it here, what if the origin for that was that Christopher Robin's parents, what they would do around Christmas is, they'd have him write the letter out, they'd look at it, put in the envelope, and then they'd mail it off like that to add a little bit of whimsy, but they would already know what he wants.
Yeah, I could see that.
I'm saying that's him passing it on to his 100 Acre Wood pals.
Sure.
That's where he got the idea from.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to the New Year stuff.
The Pooh Year stuff.
Indeed.
All right, so rabbits. Rabbits trying to grow a carrot indoors, a little potted plant with the carrot. And basically, long story short, he is fed up of his 100 Acre Wood pals. He's fed up. They're practically playing hot potato with this innocent little carrot plant thing. He's had it. And he's contemplating leaving the 100 Acre Woods and going to Rabbitville, USA, which we do not see.
Yeah, unlike Squidsville.
Yeah. Nothing but farmland as far as the eye can see. And carrots. Nothing but carrots. Yeah. Anyway. So his friends, they commit to big time. They commit to their New Year's resolutions in the hopes that these will be things that will avoid the things that annoy Rabbit, and he will want to stay. And they're doing these resolutions. They're diametrically opposed to who they are intrinsically. So you have Winnie the Pooh, almost like Gone with the Wind, I shall never be hungry again. I shall
I mean,
never
all
be
of these are
hungry.
honestly pretty dramatic, man. Like Tigger giving up Bounty, and that's just as
I
dramatic
gotta
as
be
Winnie the
honest.
Pooh giving up.
I would really love someone to do like an edit of the scene when the Pooh says like he'll never he won't ever have honey again with the Gone with the Wind. Da, da,
Oh
da,
my god.
da. I shall never eat honey again. Da, 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 da. Anyway, yes, I'm serious. Pooh's swearing off honey, which is huge, very huge. Uh, Tigger, he's never going to bounce. He reluctantly says he seemingly cannot help himself, but he's going to do it for Rabbit because he likes that rabbit. Piglet's going to show no fear, and Eeyore, big one. Tiki, what's Eeyore going to do?
He's gonna be happy all the time.
Oh boy. So, and essentially what happens is, for the most part, they all swap gimmicks. For the most part. Like, Piglet's bouncing. Everyone but Tigger essentially swaps gimmick. I mean, Tigger kind of is fearful, but it's kind of hard to say.
If anything, he's more just kind of like he's literally just chaining himself. He's literally got a ball and chain.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's not really a lot of emotional depth happening with Tigger. It's more just like, okay, take the rock off your tail, Tigger.
So that's the thing. So I think with the exception of Tigger, everyone else has kind of swapped personalities as well, but Tigger is...
Whereas obviously something like Eeyore, it's kind of like, okay, Eeyore, what you've switched to some new medication, buddy.
Well, apparently Pooh's been putting something in the honey for years. Apparently, it has to be what's it has to be like there's a hallucinogen in the either that or like Diggy, what if the secret ingredient antidepressants is honey? Actually, what if that's it? What if it's kind of there's like an added layer to the whole spoonful of sugar mentality in the Disney framework? What if that's honey is like the happy drug?
Oh God!
But essentially, so Pooh is feeling very depressed, very
This whole
Eeyore-like.
special is just a metaphor for never mixing your medications.
Pretty much. So Pooh is depressed because you can't have honey. On the flip side, you have this nightmare fuel of Eeyore standing upright, wearing a
How
shirt.
is this not a meme?
He's wearing.
That is the only thing that went through my mind as this was going down, Dragon.
I think it had to have turned into a meme or something. Because this seemed eerily. I couldn't explain it. I still can't place it for the life of me. But Eeyore happy wearing Pooh's shirt did ring a bell for me. But I did not expect the honey coming. But boy, did it. Yeah.
I mean, if it's a meme, it's an obscure one because, like, I don't know. Like, I would think that this would be more all over the place than it is because, like, it is truly an unhinged moment in so many ways.
So seeing Eeyore standing upright, wearing Winnie the Pooh shirt, eating honey, and being all eerily smiley it's unnerving.
The smile is what gets me. Just the fact that they make a point to linger on the smile.
It's more unnerving
like an
than
uncomfortable amount of time.
It's more unnerving than the DCAU Batman laughing.
Oh my god!
Well, I'm talking about that scene from Mad Love where Harley's like, "I've never seen you laugh before. I don't think I like it." It's like that sort of thing. It's like we're doing that with Eeyore. Like, dear God, he's happy. Run.
You know what though? I honestly, Dragon, I'm not sure what kind of message this is supposed to send. Like, is Eeyore supposed to just be sad? Is that supposed to just be his default?
Well,
and he's supposed to just be fine with that?
Well, I think the moral is, there's no he's putting on a happy face, which you can tell. He's probably
the moral is inside out. Yes, I get it, but
well. Sure, you're right.
I'm glad you appreciate it.
It's a universal moral, mind you, but okay, he can't just put on a happy face. All right, he's not happy with that. It's the fact that it's an ingenuous.
I mean, the fact that they do make it like genuinely unnerving, and like I said, like they linger on the smile, like that it is very much like the illusion of like kind of like the cliche of the stand-up comedian who's like dangerously depressed.
Yeah, well, think about this. If Eeyore was genuinely just casually happy, the character dies. It's like if Charlie Brown kicked the football. It's like, well, all of his problems are solved. Why couldn't he just do that from the start? There's no easy solution there. So they have to show, okay, if Eeyore's happy, something ain't right, and it's going to be kind of funny how off it feels. But we got to show that this is not the path we want Eeyore to take, and I think they successfully conveyed that. Like, well, maybe too successfully they conveyed that, but they conveyed it all the same.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. What else is going on here?
Let's see. So Rabbit is in peril. And all of his friends, they kind of have to break their resolutions to save Rabbit, and he kind of sees
Literally using, like I said, it almost feels like the same scene from the last special, just recycled Dragon. It really does.
Yeah, well, little. I don't know.
Dragon, they're literally all sitting in a circle, ruminating around how, like, oh, this is going to be a good Christmas / New Year, but it would be even better if our dear friend Pooh / Rabbit was here.
I think you're right about that. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. And so Rabbit, he returns. He reassures them. He's not leaving the 100-acre woods, and that there actually is a decent moral here. The whole friends help you be who you are. They don't want you to change. They want you to help you be more of who you are.
That is a good moral.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then we kind of we end things out on the New Year's toast.
Right.
I do love this. There's a really charming line in this whole special for me. I gotta be honest. It does not come from the as great as it is. It does not come from the whole Christmas Winnie Pooh and Christmas 2 segment. I just love this little. It's a little gag. It's very brief, very minor. I just love it's like a toast. Have you tried it with honey? It's like that's a really good line. It's just so charming. It's like, Pooh, that's a good point. We should try honey with toast. That's a good idea.
Okay, Dre, I'm gonna make this tease right now, just because I don't want to linger on it when I talk about it on Memoirs. The Boy and the Heron. Ghibli has famously good food animation, obviously.
Do I? What am I, a dunce? Yes, I know Ghibli has.
Okay, so
Have
you
seen Spirited Away?
There is the most delicious looking toast with jam.
Yeah.
That I've ever seen in The Boy and the Heron.
Where's Ed when you need him?
All right.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay, yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, hold on, then they're doing like some jingly bells, a little caroling. Pooh remembers Piglet's gift.
Oh, that's right. We have this whole to-do about Pooh running back to get the gift. Mm-hmm. And then there's that one weird moment where he's like, there's a couple layers to this. There's the honey pot thing where it looks like Pooh's just like, oh, stupid Pooh, not everyone loves honey as much as you, but instead it's like the jingle box instead of the inside of the honey pot.
Well, it's the music box that plays very conveniently Old Lang Syne. If only it really seems that the universe has conspired to keep this hidden until New Year's.
It literally like breaks Piglet's brain. I mean, that close up of him admiring it, like, I don't know, like, it's, it's sweet, but like I feel like for what it is, it's almost like it gets too big of a reaction. Did you get that?
Think about what Piglet's going through Piglet's mind here for a moment. Here is like, oh, my good friend Winnie the Pooh, like a jerk. He forgot what he got me he forgot to give me something for Christmas. He's covering it up. And he, like, all of a sudden, like,
literally, we make this whole to do about him running back to the house, and then there's that one weird moment where he throws the honey pot, he trips, and it looks like the honey pot's gonna break, but it doesn't.
Yep. But that's the thing. So Piglet already, as we established, like, he's been waiting for this Christmas. Is like Pooh he feels like his best friend just completely forgot. Oh, he forgot to give me a gift. I gave him like a pot of honey. So thanks for that, friend. And then Pooh comes back. And he's like, hey, you go, oh, it's honey, great, so thanks. And then he opens up like, oh my god, he got me a real gift, and he wasn't lying the whole time.
He got me something.
He got me something that's not edible for a change. This is a wonderful surprise. That's why he's getting all blown away by it. This is a huge. This is something out of character for Pooh. He's actually done something rather thoughtful. And even Gopher, even Even Gopher thinks things are getting a little sappy by the end here. I love that he kind of voices that. It's like, a little sappy for me.
All right.
And yeah, we end on the book in live action with a little plush bear, and that's all she wrote.
Okay, just going through some comments here. Let's see. Z&K says he admits that bouncing is what gives him confidence. Without him, he's a spineless twine.
Yep.
Let's see. Is Dragon implying that Tigger's a drug dealer?
No, I was implying Winnie the Pooh might be, but
okay, Z&K is pointing out a House of Mouse episode that makes a similar joke about Tigger, or I'm sorry, about Eeyore, where there's like a Disney's magic spray in a bottle, and then Eeyore gets sprayed with it. It has a horrifying toothy grin.
maybe that's what I was thinking of, honestly. Maybe that's what I was thinking of instead of this, him in the shirt.
It could be, yeah.
I've seen House of Mouse. I've seen all those House of Mouse episodes. Unfortunately, I can't rewatch them, but I have seen them.
House of Mouse is the one where it literally doesn't make sense why they wouldn't put it on Disney Plus. There's literally no reason not to.
Well, the dumb reason might be like rights issues somehow, but I don't know.
But it's literally all the Disney.
I know. I don't make the rule. I don't. Don't ask me. All right, I'm not the legal department.
all right. Okay,
Better question: why isn't Legend of Tarzan on Disney Plus? Better question.
The Edgar Rice Burroughs estate.
Exactly.
That's one that actually has a solid explanation. Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Ridiculous.
Okay. Kogias anime fan says Piglet. Winnie, where's my Christmas gift? Winnie.
He never calls him Winnie.
I know. Just that.
It's like the whole thing. You know, stop the quote for stop the comments for a second here. All right, it's just the fact that it's like the Peanuts thing. Okay, there was only one time. At the very least, in all the holiday specials, I'm pretty sure the entirety of the Peanuts in animation, one time that Charlie Brown is not called Charlie Brown. The full name is once in the Christmas special. It was the first one. He says, "Face it, Charlie." No one wants that. Like the one time Lucy calls him Charlie once, and you feel unclean. It's like, no, it's got to be Charlie Brown. It just doesn't sound right. So calling him Winnie just sounds all sorts of wrong.
All right. Well, the joke that Kogias is trying to make is that Pooh just snubs Piglet, basically, just like, no, I didn't get you a gift, Piglet. We are not best friends.
Nope.
No.
My friend Honey, actually.
Kogias says, I didn't realize that Dragon's a Winnie the Pooh expert.
No. Sadly,
okay.
No.
Let's see. Z&K says, I have 3 reasons. They haven't restored them, so get on it. The use of the Brer Trio. Hypothetically, since they Who Framed Roger Rabbit has Brer Bear uncensored, that's true. Or the use of Boom da Boom. Boom da Boom. Do you know about that?
Yeah, Boom da Boom. I forget if. Why am I blanket on this? Sorry, I got nothing.
I'm sorry, Z&K. What is Boom da Boom?
Boom da Boom. It sounds so familiar, but you know what? There's a Boom da Boom I'm thinking of, which is like something close to Boom Boom, which is not that. I'm thinking like the Tex Avery character, which is not the case.
Okay, the song that Pete sings. Graham used to sing that. Yeah, I mean.
Well, okay, so Pete has a song in House of Mouse. I don't get what the correlation. I don't get why.
I guess the correlation is that it's kind of like an old song that's kind of like out of style and maybe vaguely racist.
I don't know about that. That doesn't sound. Maybe I don't know.
All right. Well, regardless, let's not get too hung up on the Disney Plus thing.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say this. Yes, the whole Buzz Lightyear
it's not even vaguely racist. It's just a pre-existing song that Disney that Disney didn't own.
There
Okay.
you go. That's what I was thinking. I don't think it was like a racial thing. 'Cause then again, if it were, it would be very. I think that would be like in circa like 2000, like the early 2000s. Like I think we were going to be past that at that point of trying, falling into that embarrassing kind of thing.
Right.
You would think. Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts, Dragon.
Final thoughts. I mean, look again. It's cute. It's quaint. The main segment that essentially is repackaging is the standout. Which is good. But it just feels like, hey, it's the special game, but rabbits colored correctly. That's I can't really give points for that. It is harmless. It is fine. But if you're listening, if you're like, hey, here's a bunch of Disney Christmas specials or Christmas movies to watch, I would not be jumping to a Very Merry Pooh Year at the top of that list.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I was excited about this one based on childhood nostalgia, and I still do have a lot of childhood nostalgia for it. But really, at the end of the day, it's not quite, didn't hold up as much as I was hoping it would. And the whole thing where it's obviously a chopped up special with a pre-existing episode. Honestly, like I said, if I would have known that, if I would have realized just how obvious it was that was the case, then I probably would have just covered the movie on Christmas in July instead, or covered the episode on Christmas in July.
Yeah.
I can see it's on the weaker side of the Disney Pooh material, but it's not a full-length Halloween movie.
No, it's not. Again, this is not bad. It's just repackaged.
Too Smart for Strangers is that's a whole different kind of unhinged for sure. Oh man. All right, well I think we should go ahead and get out of here then, right?
Well, Tiki, I like to think we've been good little podcasters. I think we should peek beneath the wrapping paper.
Okay, well, really quick, just obviously we'll thank Z and K, Code Geass, and Little Blue. Okay, yeah, let's take a peek.
Oh man, I feel like there's a storm cloud around this one, Tiki. There's something. It sounds like there's some coal rattling around in there. It sounds like this sun's been left by a thin Santa Claus. Reaching an anniversary of some kind. This feels like, oh my goodness, Tiki, shield your eyes, man. This is, I think this is, it is. It's Bad Santa.
That's right, folks. We're finally doing it. Bad Santa 20th Anniversary Retrospective Podcast on the season finale. Take us out, Dragon.
All right, folks, time to dash away all, but as we wave goodbye, don't you cry. We'll be back again next time.
With even more seasonal
shenanigans.
La 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 la.
Oh bother.
I wanted to end this on a Too Smart for Strangers quote, but I'm going to spare you guys.